Hello and welcome to the chesscreator.com YouTube video channel. In today's video I'd briefly like to share a game with you that I played recently. Now, if you play Bullet and Blitz on 1 minute and 2 minute time controls, no doubt you've come across some pretty unorthodox openings, both in terms of white and black. Well, I wonder if you've ever seen anything like this. In this game I was playing white, and before I began the game I had intended to play the London system. You may have seen that I've started a series on that, and I intended to play the system myself and annotate that game. So that didn't quite go according to plan, for reasons which you will see. This is perhaps the most bizarre defense or attempt at a bullet game strategy that I've seen. So hopefully you'll find it entertaining. So the game began. d4, knight f6, bishop f4, and at this point I'm expecting some kind of King's Indian defense, or perhaps some kind of Grimfeld setup where black plays g6, bishop g7. This was a 2-minute bullet game, so not the fastest, but certainly by no means a normal time control game. Anyway, my opponent continued with knight g8. So I paused for a couple of seconds and thought, well, I'll just continue developing pieces. So the next couple of moves, e3, knight c6. And here I play bishop d3, just aiming for a standard London system kind of setup with a delayed knight f3. So quite a flexible, quite a solid system. And here my opponent played knight b8. So, as you can see, this person obviously has their own, how can we say it politely, unorthodox way of playing against queen's pawns opening, where they just hop their knights in and out. And sure enough, the game continued. c3, knight f6. Well, at this point I basically decide that my opponent is going to do this for the rest of the game, which would be somewhat dull. So I continue just developing a couple more pieces, but my basic plan at this stage is to gang up on some of the pawns which aren't moving, and just start stripping them of pawns one by one. So the game continues, knight d2, and sure enough followed by knight g8. I then play queen c2, which forms a nice queen and bishop battery on h6, which I'm pretty sure that my opponent is going to ignore, because sure enough it's time to play knight c6 again, for the second or third time, whereupon we get quite an amusing finish to the game, which does end up with something of a fool's mate position. Anyway, so I take bishop takes h7. My opponent tries to trap the bishop, by playing g6. But of course, there's a forced mate in a couple of moves. If you want to pause the video. Okay, well, I'm not sure if you saw it, but bishop takes g6, f takes g6, and queen takes g6, checkmate, which ends in a position with the queen bearing down on the king, and because black has spent all their time moving pieces only, the king has no escape square. So let's just look at that again in kind of more real time. So this is what it would have looked like to me playing under 2-minute time controls. So very silly from black, and ends with a rather nice checkmate. So not too much to learn from this video, other than unorthodox defences don't always work, even under very short time controls. Still, it did make me giggle, and I hope it's been an amusing distraction. If you found the video entertaining, please consider subscribing. It's free and you will be notified of all future videos. In the meantime, I wish you good luck with your own chess, and I'll talk to you again soon.